Hey, this is Larry Osborne here, and I want to talk to you about an aspect of discipleship that many of us tend to think is pretty important, but as we're going to see, I'm not so sure the Bible gives a rip about at all. It's this thing called balance. And I want to suggest that perhaps balance is bunk. You see, when you take a look through Scripture, I don't think you're going to find any verse, I've never found a verse that in any way talks about balance. The closest thing you're going to find is in Ecclesiastes, where we're told there's a time for this or a time for that. But that's exactly my point. It doesn't say we ever live in this perfect state of balance, where our physical life, our spiritual life, our family life, our work life, everything is kind of all together and perfectly balanced. When you take a look at the Old Testament heroes or the New Testament heroes, none of them were balanced. In fact, they were all a little bit weird and a little bit out of balance. You've got a Daniel, you've got a Joseph, you've got a Moses, you got a Nehemiah. You take a look in the New Testament, a Peter, a Paul, I would say even Jesus himself. None of them were in this idealistic state of balance that we often try to seek for. I like to imagine it this way. Life is like a tightrope walk. If you've ever seen a tightrope walker, what you realize is as they're up there, they likely and easily could fall because they get out of balance. So they have this long pole with them that's weighted. And when they begin to fall over on this side, they put the weight over here, and they begin to fall over on this side, they put the weight over there. And that just helps them kind of figure it out. Well, that's kind of how we need to live our life. We never want to get so far out of balance that we're going to fall over. But in the meantime, we're always going to be at one place just asking the question, does something need to be adjusted? I want to share with you 3 questions that I've found helpful to keep me from getting so far out of balance that I fall over without worrying very much about whether I'm in perfect balance. The first one is this: what season am I in? There are various seasons of life that call for different behavior and different focus. If you're a guy or a gal that's starting up a business, you're going to spend an inordinate amount of time focused on getting that business off the ground. That might mean there's some sacrifices and some lack in your family time, maybe even your spiritual and devotional time, because in this season, this is what is most important. I think of a family with young children or a mom with a couple of preschoolers underfoot. Surviving is the number one assignment at that particular time. And the focus is upon the family, and there's going to be sacrifices that are made out in the marketplace and in ministry and all kinds of different areas. A second question I like to ask is this: what does God want me to do today? You see, each and every day has an assignment, a calling from my Lord. And some of those days are to be dialed in on a big ministry project. Other times are going to be pour your life into someone else. Other times are going to be very dialed in and focused upon rest and being rejuvenated, or upon my family. The question isn't how can I be balanced today? How can I have this checklist and everything gets checked? It's what does God want me to do today? And the third question I like to ask is this: is anything in my life so out of balance that it's harming my walk with God, my relationships with others, or my health? Because if that's true, I need to grab that pole and I need to push the weight over here to get me back so that I'm not harming my walk with God, my relationships, or my health. You know, there's a couple of really good books that you might find very, very helpful if you want more information on this. One, if I can self-promote, is there's a chapter on balance in A Contrarian's Guide to Knowing God, a book that I wrote. And if you want to take that one chapter and dig deeper into it, my friend Bruce Miller has written a book called Your Life in Rhythm. It's an excellent book, and it takes this idea and it digs into it in great, great depth. Well, if this has been helpful, I encourage you to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.